So first of all, you might want to make excuses and apologies and explain what the hell you've been doing.
Excuses,
Well,
apologies.
you haven't done any of this for 600 years.
Well, no, I've sort of started a model, probably
600 years ago.
something like that. An Airfix Walrus, which is a rather lovely, antiquated biplane.
You turn that light away from us. That's it. That's better.
I can show you. And I got so far and got rather defeated by how complicated it was going to be. As you can see, there's the fuselage. Did the interior and everything. I've got it painted, I think one colour. See, I've forgotten how far I've got. Masked up. There's a wavy demarcation line between the upper and lower surface camouflages, which is a little bit complicated. I use blue tack in a wavy line, so when I spray that, it should get that wavy line effect. And then there's an engine to go on there. It's got a pusher engine, so the propeller engine fits on the back here, and there's a wing there and another wing on top of that, and there's floats that go underneath it. So it's a complicated finish. I can remember buying a Walrus Airfix Walrus when I was young. That's what I'm trying to build, an air sea rescue version. I mean, it's a lovely looking thing. It looks antiquated. It looks to me like a salty old seaman. It's got that look. It should have a beard round it somewhere, but it almost has. It's sort of blunt and, you know.
That's funny. It doesn't look like that at all to me.
To me, I always see aeroplanes seem to have faces to me. But it's complicated because the top wing and the surfaces you can see here are dark slate grey and ocean grey. I think it's ocean grey. Yeah, sea grey. Fair enough. But the lower wing, the one underneath, is light slate grey and light ocean grey. So that makes it more complicated. Then it needs rigging. Because biplanes like this were rigged, you know, there were great, effectively steel hawsers put in them to, there we go, there's a picture of they suggest the rigging if you get really keen, which, you know, I want to make it look realistic enough.
Cool, blimey.
So there's rigging everywhere. There's between the top and bottom wings. There's rigging on the struts for the engine, which I've done. There's rigging for the floats, which are fixed. And I started doing that with fishing line, as you can see there. But I did find there is an alternative. See, you can't find it now. There's a specially made fine elastic line. Well, can't find it, but it's black and it stretches. So if I rig that between the struts and everything else, they should be straight, which is a bit important because if they don't look straight, it doesn't look right. So all of that, you know, with other things going on, meant that I did it ground to a halt years back. But I've now reached a stage where I've finished off several others and sort of thinking, well, if I don't finish it now, I'm never going to. I need to get on with it. So, having reached that decision, I'm not going to let myself touch anything else until I've done this.
Yeah.
I just haven't got there.
No.
Because there's all sorts of something, and at the moment I'm hanging about waiting for colonoscopy, the third one, which I need to have done because of family history. I've got a further knee replacement cable left, and that sort of hangs over me a bit. So I sort of haven't got there for ages, but I mean to gradually. Maybe in the gap after the colonoscopy.
You look like you've come quite a long way on this walrus. It looks further along than.
Yeah.
I think you getting it out. Maybe you see how much you've done.
Yeah, but you know, I get closer and closer to the complexities of the dual colour schemes on the lower wing and the upper surfaces, which
I've told you many a time. Leave me the paints out, and whilst you're sleeping,
yes.
I'll do it for you.
Yes, I can imagine. All match black. So in the meantime,
no, move the box because that's going to be in the way if you're going to talk about something else. No, you'll have to put it back where you got it from, Mr. Messy.
It'll be out of the way again.
Well, yeah. I'll fetch it back.
So in the meantime, I've got these 2 tanks which I did fairly recently, which the other one's a Sherman Firefly, which has been in previous vlogs. This one's a Cromwell.
And has that been in previous vlogs? It must have been.
I think, yes, the Cromwell has, yeah. British tank.
Yeah, turn it towards us, not you. Thanks. No. We'll turn it so I get a side view because it gives a better, yeah. Thanks. Carry on.
Which I bought an aftermarket set for, so the entire turret is not the original kit turret because they've moulded this, what do they call it? They used to use quite a lot of netting with strips of Hessian, greens and browns and khakis threaded through it to give this sort of lovely camouflage effect. And you see quite a few pictures of Cromwell done up like that, so I wanted to do that. So I used that set and got another set for baggage on the back, which they would have carried a lot of, and completed it that way. But the trouble with tanks is, especially these two, you end up with sort of dark green blobs sat on your shelf, and particularly having just bought some special brushes. These are dry brushing brushes, which I've not really had before. Dry brushing is where you take a colour, dip it in, dry it off massively, and then rub it over surfaces. And what that does is it leaves a faint smear over raised parts in the texture of the thing, or over detail, which sort of brings it out, which is good. But I thought I'd use it just to try and bring out more detail on this using some dark dust pigment.
Oh, I can get you some of that from the garden if you want. You don't have to buy it.
I've done this in the past with the tank, other one, but not this one. And I just thought I'd try this on the top surface just to
so that's what you're
bring
doing.
it out a bit more, to make it look a bit less clean and a bit more grubby.
And you bought paint pens, and they're for what?
Paint pens. This was the particular one, AK. It's not a company I've used it before, I don't think, but it's you can see it's a sharp felt tip. But AK are modelling. Open
it again because I was just zooming in. You're a bit quick, and take it back to where you were because you've come towards me and I've come towards you. That's a beautiful shot. Thank you. Carry on.
But this one particularly is a Reichsluft Ministerium 76 colour, which is one of the German standard colours used on their aircraft during the war. It's as I understand it, it's a sort of sky blue, but it is well known to fade to become paler grey, which is about where this sits, I think. And I've got that as one of my standard colours, Luftwaffe sets, but there is a particular German finish I'd like to be able to do. Particularly, I've got a kit of a Tamiya kit of a Fieseler Storch, which was a rather excellent short takeoff and landing aircraft, used a lot by the Luftwaffe. This one I want to do in the finish as used by Rommel in the desert. And
could we have a look at what it is that you're talking about?
Oh blimey!
Any excuse to have a look inside your cupboards?
Again, it's a kit I've had a long time. I
can see it. Top at the back. It's a good job I'm here. Shelf scanner, woman.
There. I think it was
Ooh,
a
weird.
Tammy anniversary edition for their...
Oh, I see what you mean about the camouflage. You
their-
were talking about that.
Yes. It gives you various different options for finish, but this is the one I like. And so you've got the basic, it would have been factory produced finish of blue undersides, as you blue, desert tan tops.
Yeah.
But in this case, they did what I think is called a mirror wave, probably done in the field, and they take their standard sky blue, the one that fades, and do squiggly lines all over it.
Mm.
And I've thought about trying, and it's near impossible to do. I wouldn't want to do it with an ordinary brush because you have to keep dipping in starting, and airbrushing would be almost impossible. So I just think
Paint pen will do it, perhaps.
using the paint pen, it's got a nice fine tip. I should be able to do that fairly easily.
Mm.
Eventually, when I get round to it.
When you get round to it. And all those other kits you've got in the cupboard there.
Yeah. But, yeah, it'd be a nice kit. It was an amazing aircraft. I mean, the Allies captured some. They got used. I think Montgomery was flown around in one a bit sometimes, and other dignitaries got flown around it marked up as British aircraft. An amazing aircraft. I have seen one fly actually.
Well, I don't think I've ever heard of one.
No, they're faintly obscure. It's not a Messerschmitt or anything. It's a Fieseler Storch. Seen one. Cosworth. No, not Cosworth. Some aircraft museum in Britain.
So do you think that in between your colonoscopy and your knee, you might actually do something?
Oh, I'm sure I'll be doing something.
Because you've got 6 weeks between the two.
What, you think I might finish that lot?
Yeah.
Yeah, I will need to get on with doing something.
Well, you've done quite a bit of gardening, though. It's been summer, you've been out doing the gardening, fighting wisteria and kiwi fruit and various things.
I bought a very handy new tool, Ryobi. I still think are Chinese.
I don't think they are.
We
I looked
couldn't
them
find
up.
that anywhere.
It was German.
I'm sure other tools I've got, Ryobi, have been Chinese. But this one is a battery-powered hedge trimmer, but on a long pole.
Pole hedge trimmer.
It's on a pole hedge trimmer. There's an extension you can screw in to make it even longer. It's a bit unwieldy, but I use that to trim the top of the kiwi because that's not it going again, and a bit round the wisteria, which we're going to confine to being a large bush at the corner of the house. But this device, it is a bit unwieldy, but it's a lot less difficult struggle than heaving about with ladders and using secateurs and that kind of thing. So
So that's what you've been doing. That's your
Works quite
excuse, is it?
And but for rain, I'd be out there today trimming that bush.
True, but it is raining quite steadily out there.
But yeah, it works quite well.
So you've got the Cromwell out, and you're going to. Oh, you said what you're going to do. You're going to do some dry brushing.
Dry brushing, just to make it bitless of a green lump.
Okay, it is rather an attractive model.
Yeah.
Well, then most of your models are very. It looks like you've dusted it. Have you cleaned it, ready for your dry brushing or something?
I've dusted it, ready to make it dusty.
Exactly.
Well, I don't think I
so
have
rare.
recently, but just the Cromwell, the Sherman's the one everybody knows because the Americans supplied a lot to the British. We modified it to the Firefly, which had a big enough gun to combat German tanks like the Panther and the Tiger effectively. The Cromwell was a British tank, lower than the Sherman. The gun is not as good anti-tank wise, but it was very fast. It was about it could do about 40 miles an hour, which was a lot back in those days, because it had the engine finally, because this was the end of a series, the Cromwell. They used a detuned Rolls-Royce Merlin engine, a 27 litre, as used in Spitfires, Hurricanes and the rest of them, called a Meteor. And that was effective, and it made it very fast. So it was used a lot for reconnaissance, I think, and advanced scouting. worthwhile building.
Okay. That's probably enough. I mean, you can tell by me falling asleep at this side,
Yes,
this
and
side of the
probably
camera is normally
the
a
rest of the audience
bit
out
of an
there.
indicator.
Yes, I'm starting to head into rivet counting territory.
Well, yeah, but there's a lot of people that probably watch this that would be quite interested in that.
Yeah.
My boredom level isn't an indicator of your audience, I don't think.
Well, hopefully not.
Okay. Right, so you've got to get all these models done by March.
What happens in March?
Everything's moving out and we're having the bunker refurbished.
Oh God, yes.
You're looking forward to that, aren't you?
Oh. Yes, dear. The thought alone is...
I know. Well...
I mean, the biggest one is where to put it all. And I'm going to have to talk to Duncan whether I empty this or whether he can do the reflooring
underneath.
if the lower shelves are emptied, which is more easily. But otherwise...
That's the least of your problems, those boxes.
All of it's got to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And a lot of the models that are out got to go, and the ones at the top of there, if they have to go, all got to go on flat surfaces. I've got to haul out all my CD racks.
Dear.
Everything.
It's a wonder that you're not losing sleep. It seems to be I'm the one losing sleep, not you.
Which is a bit of a wonder. I mean, you knock me out with that magnesium tablet every night.
Okay.
Okay. Ta-ta for now.